This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
O'Neill charged on 3 counts of false evidence. Pomtek and Gabi village hold a peace agreement. And PIH and Hearts and Souls Foundation offers free heart screening. A very good evening. This is National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. A peace agreement for the recent clash between Port Moresby technical students and Gabi community was conducted at the Port Moresby Technical College today in Port Moresby. This comes after a clash between locals and students, which resulted in the death of an electrical engineering student and several others injured.
The Port Moresby Technical College and leaders of the Gabi community have set the agenda for peace reconciliation after serious ongoing tensions from the recent violent clash between locals and students last week Tuesday, the 6th of June 2023. Present at the gathering was the member for Moresby Northwest, Lawyer Boy Samuel, chairman of the Motu Koitabu Assembly, Daddy Toka Jr., Pomtek administration, police personnel, and the community leaders of Gabi village. Representing Gabi community, Gabi United Church, who stood as one and appealed for peace and normalcy to persevere. The community leaders announced that they will be advocating to the communities to be good citizens and stop illegal practices that instigate harm.
All the community with the church, community believers, we stood hand in hand in unity that we want common sense to prevail, we want normalcy, and we want students to return to their classes and continue for our future leaders in the years to come.
On behalf of Motu Koitabu, chairman of the Motu Koitabu Assembly, Daddy Toka Jr., passed his condolences to the family of the deceased student who lost his life during the violent incident. He explained that this is a law and order issue that needs to be solved with.
You know, we're all on the same page to address law and order, because it's not right that we tell students to stay inside this premises when it's our God-given, it's our free right to walk in and out of here, whether it's at night or in the daytime. So it's now our responsibility as leaders, and also with the school, we work in collaboration to allow the students that freedom of movement. They should be allowed to walk into Hanobara to buy some bread or peanut or whatever, and then come back to the campus.
Member for Moresby Northwest, Lawyer Boy Samuel, alluded further on measures that they will be taking to address this issue.
I guess this thing has been brewing for quite some time. I guess because of the, as our Honorable Chairman had said, it because of the law and order issue at the market. Unfortunately, the incident happened. We send our sincere condolences to the young student who lost his life in this unnecessary conflict between youth from the Gabi area. And
Pomtek Principal Henry Waimangu spoke on the school's behalf.
Let the leaders solve the long-term issue, and we all the students unite as one and return to class.
Meanwhile, Student Representative Council President Nason South presented a petition to the Motu Koitabu Assembly Chairman Daddy Toka Jr. and the member for Moresby Northwest, Lawyer Boy Samuel, and said that they will surrender their weapons and retrieve from the ongoing tension in order for classes to resume normally.
There will be no fight from the student. The situation is already calm.
Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Port Moresby Technical College students have surrendered weapons to the police today as a sign of peace and normalcy back in the campus. This was witnessed by the school's administration, chairman of the Motu Koita Assembly, Daddy Toka Jr., member for Moresby Northwest, Lawyer Boy Samuel, and Gabi community leaders.
Student Representative Council Nason South has called on the student body to surrender any weapons that were involved in the violent clash with the Gabi community, just after the reconciliation meeting that was held. Male students walked in the administration front and surrendered their weapons, which the police witnessed.
We have now come down, lay all our arms, and we call to the governing council, the higher authority. There will be no more fighting. We're now looking forward to our future, to continue our studies as soon as possible by tomorrow.
Daddy Toka Jr. and Mosby Northwest MP Lawyer Boy Samuel witnessed this symbolic movement.
Every time you have an incident regarding law and order, please come to us first. Go through the proper process. Then we can address it.
Meanwhile, Principal Henry Waimangu announced that normal classes resume tomorrow, the 13th of June 2023. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
The family of the late Antonius Bito has raised a petition demanding compensation for the death of the deceased. Also, a recommendation put forward to boost the welfare of POMTEC students. EMTV took the time to visit the family house cry at Garden Hills, Port Moresby, to capture this story.
Petition that I mentioned earlier.
Justice was pleaded today by family members of late Antonius Bito, who tragically lost his life during the recent clash between Gabi community members and POMTEC students. Late Antonius was an aspiring young engineering student who was described as a bright student who had dreams he wanted to achieve. The family is now fighting the cause for justice and compensation for his repatriation to his final resting place in Bali Island, Thalassia District in West New Britain Province.
It was a sad day for the family of the late Antonius Bito, who was murdered in cold-blooded while fighting for justice for an issue that has been a norm for the students in the past years to the current times. While we condemn the incident, we also would like a lasting solution to the petty crimes that continue to affect the students attending Port Moresby Technical College.
They are calling on the member for Moresby Northwest, Lawyer Boy Samuel, Motu Koita people with a demand compensation of 200,000 kina for the murder and loss of the late student. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. To our top story, Yalibu Pangia MP and former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill was charged today on 3 counts of giving false evidence pertaining to the UBS loan. O'Neill highlighted that his charge was politically motivated.
Supporters of the Yalibu Pangia MP Peter O'Neill gathered as early as 10 a.m. at the police headquarters at Conadobu this morning. Nearly 200 turned up to await their leader, who was inside the police headquarters at the call of Police Commissioner David Manning. Commissioner Manning issued an official media statement on Saturday evening that after thorough investigation and assessment of the facts, police was satisfied and had sufficient evidence that Mr. O'Neill had perjured the inquiry, thereby committing an offence under the Commission of Inquiry Act of giving false evidence under oath. After nearly 2 hours of being detained and questioned, O'Neill walked out to be greeted by supporters. He spoke of the charges to his supporters.
They think that I've perjured myself, but as far as I know that I did not mislead the Commission of Inquiry, but we will test this in court. It's only in regard to those statements. The 3 counts of a charge saying that I've lied under oath. And they've believed my political opponents and other people who went and made statements in the Commission of Inquiry. and we will test all those in court. So I'm happy, and I want to say thank you to the police, especially the Crimes Unit and the Assistant Commissioner, for giving me the opportunity to come in and have an interview.
The Yalipupangi MP stating that it was all politically motivated.
To come in and have an interview, and they have acted professionally despite much of the pressure coming from political opponents. As many of you know, we have a constitutional reference going on. This is all part of the game that they're playing to try and intimidate me and harass me. But let me tell you that I am not going anywhere. I'll be here. Nobody will intimidate me and nobody will shut me up.
On his way to Baraka police station, his supporters followed in busloads, chanting the cry of Wiru, a common expression used to describe power. As the crowds built up outside the Baraka police station, so did tensions as supporters demanded the immediate release of their leader. And once he walked out, a loud cheer emanated around the station as he addressed the people. The former Prime Minister revealed that the courts will hear his case in the coming week. As of this story going to air, EMTV News reached out to Police Commissioner David Manning for his comments and were advised that he will make a statement in due time. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
There are two different types of heart defects that are commonly found in children. The first one is what they are born with, genetically and through their mother's dietary issues. The second type is very common in Papua New Guinea, which is rheumatic heart disease.
Pacific International Hospital has been in collaboration with the Hearts and Souls Foundation from the United States of America for the past 6 years. This partnership enables ordinary Papua New Guinean families to take their children to PIH for a free cardiac screening. Pediatrician specialist with the foundation, Dr. Kirk Milhan, elaborated.
It's a Christian organization that finds children in countries that don't have pediatric heart surgery and tries to find the diagnosis for them and then to see if there are things that we can do to increase the capacity within the country for children to be diagnosed here and then hopefully treated here. And we usually start that in a number of ways.
Under the Pro Bono program, a number of children are provided with a non-surgical treatment.
To start doing cardiac catheterizations, that is where we actually put tubes and catheters up inside from the leg up inside into the heart, and we can either do that to figure out what the exact diagnosis is, whether a child is still operable for a surgery, or to actually close holes to dilate valves. And we've had two procedural missions here that were very successful in 2018 and 2019, and we were very excited to come back in 2020.
Chief Executive Officer of PIH, Colonel Sandeep Shaligram, highlighted the benefit of this partnership and how it will help PNG families.
Now, PNG also has a large number of cases with children with cardiac defects, or so to say heart defects. Now, these cases largely remain unnoticed. They are not picked up in time because of remoteness of the region, facilities for detection and expertise not available in these places. So with that aim, we partnered with Hearts and Soul Foundation. So what they essentially do is they come in here with the expert teams who do screening for children with a generic complaint of having a heart-related issue.
After the screening and proper diagnosis by Dr. Kirk, a medical team from the Hearts and Souls Foundation will travel to PNG in November to carry out cardiac surgeries. Amanda Ilaitia, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the partnership between Pacific International Hospital in Port Moresby and US-based Christian medical team Hearts and Souls Foundation provides an important opportunity for Papua New Guinea children with heart conditions to go for cardiac screening to determine their diagnosis.
This is Hubert Vulupindi, a 10-year-old boy who has had to live with a cardiac condition since birth, and after all these years, this little boy has a chance to grow up and live a normal life. This was what his father, Paul Vulupindi, had to say.
Because we're using the public health system, we couldn't get detailed information on his condition. We were just told that yes, he has a heart condition, but there was no confirmation of what he actually had. Today I actually found out what he has, and with the ECG I could actually picture the issue that his body is having. And thanks to the doctor there who explained things very clearly, I actually know what he has and how it's going to be handled or can be handled. He has given us 3 options, which I'm thankful for, but that depends on their evaluation of his situation later on, not immediately.
Dr. Kirk Milhan from Hearts and Souls Foundation explains Hubert's case.
The child I just saw, Hubert, it's a very interesting case. All the blood that's supposed to come back from his lungs and go to his left heart to go out to his body. So it went to his lungs to get oxygen. It's supposed to come back to his left heart and go out to his body to bring oxygen to his whole body. All of his blood comes back from his lungs and goes right back to his right heart to go back out to his lungs, to go back to his right heart and go back out to his lungs. And so he's very blue. Because of that, he can't play. Dad says he really doesn't. His younger brother is now bigger than he is, and he can't eat normal foods. If he tries to eat too rich of foods, he feels bad, and that's because he's not getting enough oxygen to his intestines. The surgery is probably one of the favorite surgeries for heart surgeons to do who take care of kids, because it's a very simple surgery. They'll have to open his chest, but it's a very simple surgery, and you take this child who's blue and he comes out pink, and suddenly when he's recovered from his heart surgery in about 6 weeks, his life has been completely changed.
Hubert, like many other children in the country that live with serious cardiac defects, now have an opportunity to live a normal and healthy life because of this program. Amanda Ilaitia, National EMTV News.
Cheshire Disability Services has been given the opportunity to have its youths attend the Highlands Youth Training and Rehabilitation College this year. They have also received 1,000 kina cash for stationery supplies for the centre. This kind donation was made by Michael Goru, Director of the Highlands Youth Training and Rehabilitation College, yesterday in Port Moresby.
Michael Goru, whilst making the announcement to the people, told his story of how he overcame the challenges of being a person living with disability and pursued his ambition in having a TVET college established in parts of the country and in the nation's capital as well. Goru shared his story to the Cheshire Disability Centre.
And then I started building up myself on the street. So that's why I was the one that helped the Ola Youth Center and then other institution. And I went and I started my own training institution, which is called Island Youth Training and Rehabilitation College. I operated for 23 years now. That's my 4th year in Moresby. But with that, I've been helping the able body, which is 20,000 plus. They already graduated from my institution around the country.
He stated that being a grade 12 dropout was a challenge for him, especially in the city. But through perseverance, he became successful in what he wanted to achieve.
We are basing at the Geru Yumet Real Estate. And during my 23 years operation, I had disabled guys, they came to attend our programs.
With the establishment of his college, he said that disabled people also attend his institution.
Disabled people, they came. Some they came with wheelchairs, some they were blind. They came, so we used to categorize them and then see that which field area they will be capable where they can attend the programs.
Therefore, he made the announcement that he will be sponsoring youths from Cheshire homes to attend his college.
First 10 disabled youths who are at least grade 8 to 12 who are disabled, but who can see face. I will deal with those who are not blind. I will deal with them first. So first 10, I want the director to identify them and recommend them to me so that they will start to attend the second semester in July. Island Youth Training and Rehabilitation College will
will sponsor them. It will cost almost 50,000, but we will sponsor them and they will attend the programs.
Apart from that, he made another contribution to Cheshire.
And the other one is 1,000 kina. I will give it to director for some stationery, some little things that the teachers they might need it. I 1,000 kina, so I'll give it to you, and then you can hold it and buy little stationery for the small kids.
Moreover, he suggested that the government must cater for persons living with disability who are on the streets. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Papua New Guineans should be helping one another. This was the message by Nomen Finance Managing Director Gabriel Ndandi when he presented a total of 2,000 kina in cash to a staff member of Gordon's International School to go overseas for further studies.
A small yet significant family financial company, Nomen Finance Limited, has been helping ordinary Papua New Guineans since its inception. With a little return that the company makes from its business, they make sure they support students and individuals who are desperately in need of assistance. According to Managing Director Mr. Gabriel Ndandi, they strive to educate a population through their finance company business.
A lot of teachers, a lot of students in scholarship that we give. We sponsor about 800 students in scholarships in Papua New Guinea. Islands, Southern New Guinea Islands, Bougainvilleans, Sipiks, Karamas and Darus, everybody. The total amount of money that we spend in school fees, building bridges, water supplies, women's group, students who want to go to school, church groups, all of those people that we normally assist them.
With that, last week, the finance company, led by Mr. Ndandi, visited the Gordon's International School and presented 2,000 kina in cash towards the training fees of one of their staff who will be sent overseas. Ms. Omen, the recipient of this financial assistance, was full of praise and thanks for this timely support. As part of its corporate social responsibility program, Nomen Finance Limited has assisted students and individuals from right across PNG. More so, the company assists families and communities as a whole in building feeder roads and bridges and other community obligations as well. Mr. Ndandi believes in these tough times, Papua New Guineans must stand together and help one another for the betterment of our country. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2820 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2745 US, $0.4042 Australian dollars, $0.2480 euro, 37.87 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed higher, copra closed higher, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Moving to overseas news now, and Ukraine military officials say troops have recaptured a village from Russian forces in the southeast, the first to be retaken as part of its new counter-offensive attack.
Video posted online shows soldiers entering a bombed-out building in the Donetsk region and then hoisting the Ukrainian flag. Kyiv has confirmed its military operations have ramped up to seize back land in the east and south.
We're seeing the first results of the counter-offensive actions. I've been authorized to declare the liberation of Blahodatne village.
Blahodatne lies in the southeast of Ukraine. The army says it's also recaptured another nearby village along with the city of Makarykva, which sits around 90 kilometres northwest of Mariupol. Russia says it's repelled many attacks and has maintained defensive lines. It comes as the head of the Wagner private military group resists a push by the Kremlin to take control of its mercenary forces in Ukraine. Officials now want volunteer fighters to sign contracts with Russia's defence ministry.
This will give volunteer formations the necessary legal status, create common approaches to organising comprehensive support and fulfilling their tasks.
Satellite imagery from Ukraine shows a vast amount of water has drained out of the Kakhovka reservoir since the explosion at the dam a week ago. Ukraine's president says international investigators are looking into the breach, including shelling in flooded areas.
Representatives of the International Criminal Court have visited Kherson region in recent days. On the very first day after the disaster, the General Prosecutor's Office sent a corresponding request to the International Criminal Court concerning an investigation of this disaster, and the work has already begun.
President Zelensky has praised the return of dozens of Ukrainian troops captured by Russia. Some had defended the city of Mariupol in a months-long siege last year. 95 people were released by Moscow and 94 soldiers by Ukraine as part of a prisoner exchange.
Australia's Northern Territory coroner is about to open a series of inquests to examine the domestic violence killing of 4 Aboriginal women.
Last year, it was labelled the homicide capital of Australia, the Northern Territory, where rates of domestic, family and sexual violence are higher than anywhere else in the country. And from tomorrow, the coroner will seek to find out why.
People should be paying attention because these women mattered, their lives mattered. They were very loved. They are very missed.
Since the year 2000, 79 women in the NT have been killed by a current or former partner. 74 of them were Aboriginal.
So much of our resources are dedicated to responding to domestic family sexual violence. It's absolutely critical that we look at this and we learn how to improve those responses, how to do this in a better way, with the ultimate aim being that there are no more deaths, that we prevent domestic violence-related homicides, because all domestic violence-related homicides are preventable homicides.
In Alice Springs, the coroner will tomorrow begin exploring the death of Ms. A. Haywood, who was killed in 2021 by her partner, who also died in the same incident. He'd previously been jailed for violence against her. Later in the year, the coroner will examine the horrific murder of anti-violence campaigner Ms. Ara Bunja, whose partner is now serving a life sentence for her murder and had previously been jailed for manslaughter. In 2016, the former coroner found the justice system does not deal with the important questions of why domestic violence happens and why it's getting worse. Just last year, Elizabeth Armitage wrote The Contagion of Domestic Violence Rages Unabated in the Northern Territory. Experts hope the time and resources dedicated to this inquiry will lead to recommendations that can't be ignored.
10 people have died and multiple others injured in a bus crash in the New South Wales Hunter region.
At approximately 11:30 p.m. last night, emergency services were called to the roundabout on Wine just near the Hunter Expressway off-ramp in relation to a motor vehicle collision. Upon arrival, it was identified that a coach had overturned on that roundabout, and at this stage it appears to be a single vehicle collision. At this stage, there are 10 people confirmed deceased, and a further 25 people have been transported to hospital, and at this stage they have varying injuries.
So yeah, as we heard, some absolutely awful details coming out of this horrible crash here in the Hunter Valley. Now, we know that the driver of the bus, the 58-year-old, is under arrest at Cessnock Police Station. Tracy Chapman wasn't able to confirm, when or if that person will be charged, but the driver is at Cessnock Police Station, and we'll wait to hear some more details about that throughout the day. Also, some graphic details about the crash. We saw some vision coming in of the bus here on the Hunter Expressway rolled rolled over, the window smashed, and some people being taken to hospital. It's been confirmed that, there may still be some people trapped with the bus. So that's why probably this road is going to be closed off for the rest of the day. It's been closed now for several hours. There are crash investigators out there. Police have described it as a traumatic scene. 10 people are confirmed to have died, and there's at least a dozen people also in hospital receiving treatment in Maitland, Newcastle, and also Sydney. So, very busy morning for emergency responders, and a really massive news story to hit this sleepy town. The road is still blocked off. We've got a lot of police officers here. It's brought a lot of media to this part of the Hunter, so there's certainly going to be a lot of community reaction to this story throughout the day. We're hearing that this bus was carrying some wedding guests who were here for the long weekend for a wedding in the Hunter Valley. This is a really popular spot for weddings, and a lot of people would be coming here for the long weekend for a city break. So it's been confirmed that they were at the Wandon estate for a wedding, and they were being transported back to their accommodation in Singleton. So really sad news, really tragic news for something like this to happen, after such a joyous occasion.
New video footage has emerged at the moment. 4 indigenous children were found in the Amazon jungle in Colombia 40 days after surviving a plane crash.
The children, aged 13, 9 and 4 years old, as well as an 11-month-old, are recovering in a Colombian military hospital after their rescue last week. Authorities and family members say they survived on flour recovered from the wreckage and wild fruit they found in the jungle. Rescuers say the children's upbringing as members of the Huaytoto people left them well equipped to cope in the Amazon wilderness.
You're watching National EMTV News. Trukai Sports is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In AFL, the Gereka Bombers bombarded Concept Koboni's 21 points to 12. President of the Port Moresby AFL, Douglas Lai, said this year is a competitive one for the Port Moresby AFL.
Unlike the previous years where there is a team dominating the scoreboard, this year shows a tough rearrangement to the ladder as the teams get competitive. Gereka Bombers are at the top as of current, with the defending premier, Concept Koboni, sitting uncomfortably in the 6th spot of the A-grade ladder.
Currently on the ladder, in A-grade, we've got the Gereka Bombers leading the competition, and followed by Lamana Dockers, and followed by Gorens Kokofas, West Eagles and Gary Magpies. The defending premiers, Koboni, are sitting uncomfortably at the 6th spot.
Meanwhile, the Dockers are leading in the women's competition.
In the women's competition, we've got Dockers that are leading the comp, followed by Port Power of Port Moresby Technical College, and the Gary Magpies, Koboni, Bombers, and then Koboni.
Last weekend games were the 8th playoff for the Port Moresby AFL 2023 competition. Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. The National Karate Championships 2023, which was completed as of yesterday, ended today at the Tarama Aquatic and Indoor Centre. A total of 5 provinces competed during these 2 days national championships. Out of these teams, New Ireland Province is one of the outside teams that has journeyed to the national capital to participate in this event.
A member for Namatanai Open Electorate, Byron Chen, spearheaded a total of 3 contingents to attend the National Taekwondo Championships alongside 12 other team members of theirs that they met up with in Port Moresby. In an exclusive interview with Trukai Sports, the former member, who is now the chief coordinator to New Ireland Province to the 2023 National Taekwondo Championships, highlighted on their team's progress.
However, we were privileged to take part in the Taekwondo tournament last time. Two of our fighters missed out. Three of them has missed out last time. So we have a development squad here as well in Moresby. They also took part. This is Karate National Championships, and they've trained only 3 to 4 weeks, but they're pretty senior guys. Stap long blut, yeah. So only ready in a stap. So they represent different styles, different clubs, but today we're all together fighting for New Ireland.
According to Chen, the team mostly consists of emerging talents, and they aim to showcase their best in this tournament to possibly get placings to represent their province, as the PNG Games is just around the corner, with the major events being the Pacific Games. Chief Instructor of Federation of PNG to International Shotokan Karate, who also vied in the tournament, shared his experiences leading up to the national championships.
I usually represent Papua New Guinea as well. Going 2016 is a World Championship. I fought in the World Championship, representing country 2 times International Championship in Japan. Be with the other martial artists. We want to build up our province, be the role model. So, because right now, I'm no more safe for this land. We want to be the role model, inspire the young ones to come join us and help develop our country, especially our province, our country as well.
These athletes of 15 are representing their home province with pride and dignity despite not having any sponsor to back them up, and the Team New Ireland comprises of 3 mixed styles: Shotokan, Karate and Taekwondo.
Moving to overseas sports now. In AFL, the Bombers enjoyed a 34-point win over the Blues last night with a splendid display of skills.
Peter Wright returned from injury and he kicked 5 goals to be the difference on the night and was the focal point, particularly in the third quarter, that really broke the game open in the 13-8 86 to 6-16 52-point win. That is an 8th defeat from 9 matches for the Blues, leaving their season in a bit of a free fall, and it does, as we alluded to earlier, raise more questions over Michael Voss's future, despite the Carlton hierarchy publicly guaranteeing his position. Earlier on in the day, GWS recorded their 5th win of the season. They had a 28-point victory over North Melbourne.
In tennis, Novak Djokovic claimed a record-breaking 23rd men's single Grand Slam title when he won the French Open yesterday.
The Serbian is now the only male player to have won each of the 4 Grand Slams at least 3 times, winning the Oz Open 10 times. He is so remarkable. Down under, 4th seed Ruud, who was playing in his 3rd major final after Roland Garros and the US Open, got off to the better start. He had an early break. Djokovic, though, as he so often does, rallied back and then won the tie-break in the first set, eventually cruising through the second and third when it mattered the most. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic.
In cricket, Australia has won its maiden Cricket World Test Championship title when they defeated India by 209 runs in the final.
Chasing 444 for victory, India were all out for 234 just before lunch on Sunday after losing 7 wickets in the final morning. The triumph makes Australia the first men's team to have won world titles in all 3 formats of the game. Pat Cummins, Steve Smith, Mitchell Starc and David Warner all completed their own triple crowns. For the Aussies, Scott Boland was mega. He took the crucial wickets of Virat Kohli and Ravi Jadeja in the space of 3 deliveries on his way to figures of 3 for 46, creating a welcome headache for the selectors ahead of the Ashes.
That ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy periods with possible showers. Daru, cloudy with occasional rain showers. Gerima, Alatau and Popondetta, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. In the Momase region, Ley, rain showers and possible thunderstorm, then cloudy. Madang, cloudy periods with few showers. Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Kavieng, cloudy with few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy with possible brief showers. Kimbe and Buka, few showers and possible thunderstorm. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy periods with rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Goroka and Kondiawa, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Mendi and Wabeg, cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands to Kerema to Yule Island to Port Moresby to Hood Point to Samurai Island, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Samurai Island to eastern and western Milne Bay Islands to Cape Vogel, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters north of Cape Vogel to Ewan Gulf to Finschhafen, seas 1 to 2 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitiers Dampier Straits to CSC and Long Islands, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters north of Long Island to Madang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 1 to 2 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1 to 1.5 meters. Waters of East and West New Britain, seas 1 to 1.5 meters. Waters of New Island and Bougainville, seas 1 to 1.5 meters. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea sees moderate to rough southeast winds of 20 to 33 knots. Solomon Sea sees light southeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea sees light to moderate southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Pacific Ocean sees light southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 15 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Monday, the 12th of June, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.